and welcome to ProLine, direct from Las Vegas. I'm Dave Cokin, joined by Jim Feist. We're going to be breaking down a couple of Wednesday baseball games and, of course, Game 3 of the NBA playoffs tonight. Kind of do or die for the Cleveland Cavaliers. At this point, they've got to get on the board tonight if they want to stay alive. We'll look at some baseball for Thursday, a little NFL talk as well. But first, before we do any of that, Jim, we want people to subscribe to the channel, and the price is right. It's free.
It's the best price out there, right? ProLineTV.com. Just click on the subscribe button, and you'll get notifications on new videos. Plus, you'll be sent a code on how to get 7 days of my service absolutely free. That's ProLineTV.com.
I think I want to talk about, I'll blow my own horn a little bit here. The postseason's been pretty good.
Yeah.
NBA, NHL combined, 19-7. That's from the very start of the NHL and NBA postseasons. Most of those have been in the NBA. Had a free play yesterday in the Nationals. Came through with 2 plays. The Orioles game cashed both of those. So things are going pretty well right now. And that means it's a great time for you to get in on a terrific offer. 8 days for $8. $1 a day for the next 8 days. You get all my value plays in baseball. You get what's left in the NBA Finals. I can tell you I won't be playing Game 5 in the NHL, so we'll leave that alone. Toll free, 1-855-472-2577. Make the call, make an $8 investment, and look what you get back. 8 great days of action across the board. Jim, you've been just absolutely crushing it. 25-15 NBA run. NBA Finals already 2-1. And the baseball run, this is now 61-32. 17-3 on the high rollers. Holy cow.
You know, when you get on a run like this,
it's fun.
But nobody believes you.
I know.
It's like you're 2-1 and in your picks. It's just incredible. It's been a great run. 3-0 in baseball last night, 11-2 this week. It's Free Wednesday. That's right, Free Wednesday. A free play from me going tonight. The call is free. The play is free. High-end release, free from me. Just call 866-546-9467. I don't do this very often. You see the run I've been on. It's believable. It's real. It's not magic, but it's free. Tonight, 866-546-9467.
All right, so I guess this is last stand time because let's face it, if they go down 3-0, the series over. You're not going to beat 4. You're not beating Golden State 4 times in a row. As it is, they're in trouble enough as it is. Cleveland needed to get one of those games in Oakland. They didn't. They got killed in both games. So last stand time tonight, how do you approach the game?
Well, first of all, it's about psyche. We know what they can do physically. The matchups don't work. Golden State has beaten this team 7 straight times, and most of them have been blowouts. That goes back to last year, and when Cleveland had the lead in the series last year, and they switched lineups, they went small, Cleveland couldn't handle it. Tyronn Lue is a kind of a young guy heading this big team. Give it to LeBron, 6 straight finals. Or this guy's been amazing. But is he really a champion at this level? Because he doesn't have the players around him that he had in Miami. And this Golden State team is pretty damn good. They go deep. They're like 9-10 deep. Some people say that the second string of the Warriors is actually better than the first string of Cleveland. And sometimes it looks that way on the floor. They're lost out there. They can't. They throw the ball away. LeBron, what do you have, 8 turnovers in the last game?
A bunch.
He's not an outside shooter anymore. His foul shooting is even questionable. Yeah, he can drive to the bucket. He's a horse. He's an athlete. He's great. But athletically, across the board, Golden State is the better team. Yeah, they're on the road. They're in Cleveland. The fans are going to be high for this game. We all know that, and it's in the number because instead of being a 7-point dog, they're a 1-point favorite. That's a big swing. The question is, and here's why I'm not going to tell you right here who I like in the game. Can Tyronn Lue, as young as he is, he's got some help there, can he make the adjustments that this team needs to make in order to beat this team? And will Golden State come in a little bit flat?
I read that.
That's a possibility. If they come in a little too cocky, a little too fat, and they're talking about, oh, they're better than, this and that in the past, which was a joke. It was never serious in the first place. But I was talking about the old Laker team.
Right.
Everybody talks about they were better than. It was really a joke, and it was done by Clay. His dad played on that team, so it was kind of one of those things, father-son. And the media, of course, took it as being serious, but it was not. This comes down to this. Can Tyronn Lue make the adjustments to offset the athleticism?
He's going to have to go with a different lineup. Look,
he has to. How about Thompson and Maskoff down low? Same time. Control the boards.
He's not going to be able to out-athlete Golden State.
No.
Can't happen. Might be able to happen for a half, maybe even three-quarters, but if he's going athlete for athlete, that type of matchup, fourth quarter, Golden State's going to beat him again. That's why I think if you're looking at the Cleveland side in this game, I don't know if you look full game. I think you look for a portion of the game because they might have a psychological edge early on, just come out roaring with Golden State up 2-0. The Warriors can relax a little bit here. I'm not sure they will. But I think what you're suggesting from a lineup standpoint is probably their best shot. I mean, obviously they're going to have to get good performances from the guys outside. J.R. Smith's got to pick it up. He's got to pick it up.
He's been horrible.
He has been terrible in this series. They've got to get – and they played really good ball at home. They haven't lost a game at home so far. So maybe it's conceivable that they can do this. But I think it's a problem. The reality is that they just don't match up athletically with this team. And look, this is the other thing as far as the Warriors are concerned, is there's no lack of motivation here because these guys are aware that all they keep hearing is, yeah, they won 74 games, they're terrific. They get killed by Jordan, or they get killed. And they wouldn't, okay? If you want to feel that way, I guess you can, but these guys are better athletes and they're bigger. And by the way, they've got the best shooter who's ever played the game of basketball on the team.
Incredible.
This is an amazing basketball team. And Greg Kite, interestingly enough, longtime NBA guy on some championship teams in Boston, Greg Kite said they'd run us off the floor.
They are exceptional. I don't know, when you take generation to generation, you go back to when they played big guy basketball underneath and stuff, I'm not sure how those teams would match up because, and then you go back far enough, there was no three-point shot, and all the things. Right. And today they allow walking, and back in those days they were very physical, and they'd beat you up before you ever get down the floor. You can't really go back there, but I'm talking about now, right now. If Golden State comes to play and they come with the same motivation that they have all year, I don't feel anybody in basketball can match up with them other than OKC. And the reason I say that is OKC had the matchup that will bother this club, and that was the big guys down underneath, Adams and Cantor. That bothered them. And then they had the outside play from Durant and Westbrook. Of course, Westbrook and Durant turned the ball over every fourth quarter and blew everything up. They were up 3-1 over this team. They were almost gone. If it wasn't for Klay Thompson, 11 threes in one game, they lose. They're not even here now. So it's doable, but you got to change the lineup. You got to change the style of what you're doing.
I don't even know if it is doable because here's the difference: is that when it comes down to the end of the game, Golden State doesn't think they're going to lose. It never even enters their mind that they might possibly lose the basketball game. You can't win 74 games without having that nobody can beat us mentality. I mean, there's just too many pitfalls, scheduling dynamics, long trips, injuries, things like that. For a team to do what they did this season, it's unbelievable. And it's weird as it sounds, I still don't think they're getting the credit that they actually deserve.
They're probably not. If they beat OKC, if they'd have gone up against the Spurs, they'd have gotten a little bit more credit because it's Popovich, it's those guys, the big three down there. But kind of OKC is off the map. They didn't get that much credit during the year. So it was really, if they'd have beaten the Spurs, they'd have gotten a little bit more ink on it. But this year, OKC was better than the Spurs.
It's funny. Sometimes we don't realize history until we're so far removed from the actual event that we then look back at it and say, wow, that was absolutely amazing. That's what it's going to be in 20 years. People are going to look back, assuming the Warriors finish this thing off, which I certainly think they will. People are going to look back 20, 25 years from now and go, and there'll be some team making a run 20, 25 years from now, and people will be saying, yeah, but they couldn't have beat that Warriors team from 2016. Their historical perspective will be greater down the road than it is right now.
It's all true. But we go back 20 years now, and we look at what happened 20, 30, 40 years ago. The rules changed, for one. the officiating changes, the ball. I mean, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, whatever it is, it's not the same game as it was then. Go back to when the Detroit Pistons. I mean, those guys were tough. They beat you up. You come to the bucket, they knock your head off.
Oh, yeah, they were dirty.
I mean, yeah, it was terrible. That game doesn't exist anymore, so you can't compare this team to then. But comparing them, now you talked about Cleveland hasn't really been defeated at home, but that was against East teams.
Yeah, I know.
That was against the East. And believe me, this is really amazing. There's 4 teams in the West that match up pretty well if all teams are physically healthy. 4 teams in the West that actually give Cleveland a hard time.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but in the East, there's nobody. So it's very unbalanced right there. That's why some people say instead of taking 16 teams, 8 from each, you just take the top 16. But then that ruins the division stuff and all the.
Well, I would like to. There's one change I'd like to see: top 4 from each conference, automatic.
Right.
After that, you go to the standings, and from that point on, you pick the remaining teams based on record.
Because there were some teams in the East that shouldn't even been there.
No.
And there were some teams in the West shouldn't have been there too. Based on the end of the season type play.
Well, but you're going to have some of those teams when you go 16 deep.
Especially there's another thing.
Half the league shouldn't make the playoff.
Half the league,
many.
and they shouldn't be playing 82 or is it 81 preseason games to put half the teams into the playoffs. It's ridiculous, and most people agree that the season's too long, and it's hard to stay healthy for that long.
If you want to ask us any sports wagering questions as they pertain to Las Vegas, state of Nevada, obviously, go to ProLineTV.com and be sure to hit the subscribe button to get 7 days of action free.
Plus, go to JimFeist.com for free stats, articles, videos, podcasts, my free fast facts. You'll love them. And play with the nation's top handicappers. We have plays up from them all the time.